morning. 7:38 at AM 990. KWAM. It's Memphis this morning. Well, it's Tuesday morning, so it's time for Let's Talk Growth with Triumph Bank, Tracy Strickland, and your host, of course, George Bryant.
Thank you, John, and welcome to our studios on this beautiful Tuesday, one of our favorite days when we get to do this segment called Let's Talk Growth with Triumph Bank. Our host, Tracy Strickland. Welcome, Tracy.
Good morning, George. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. It's good to have you in our studios, and as always, you bring us a special guest, and special guest Steve Nash.
I thought we would talk a little bit about the community and one of our main community partners that does some incredible work, and I think it's one of those silent heroes in the city. They're not one of the big nonprofits, but they do such amazing work in 38126, and I wanted to bring on Steve Nash. He is the founder and executive director of Advance Memphis. So welcome, Steve. Thanks for being with us.
Steve. Thanks for having us.
Great to have you in the studio, and I understand, this goes back how many years? 18 years?
Yes.
Oh.
So scratch start, and had 3 little girls, and took off for the city. And so it's been a great journey, and there's been a lot of change.
It has been change, and it's been positive. And, sort of like Tracy was talking about, some of the more of the quiet heroes behind the scene doing things. But I really do like with Advance Memphis, a little bit I've heard about it, is that you're working with adults. It's Christian-based, and one of the goals is to gain employment. So how did you come about this concept?
Sure. Well, I guess it begins with I have always volunteered in the city, and so folks like Eli Morris was my urban young life leader, as well as Howard Eddings over at Melrose and Manassas. Mm-hmm. And then at my church, Second Pres, they divided out home missions and world missions, listening to some of the home missions conference speakers, as well as being in sales and business. My brother was in business for himself. Father wishes that he'd always done it, and I was being encouraged to start a business. Growing profits exponentially didn't really excite me. I was volunteering at Streets Ministries with Ken Bennett in this neighborhood, and so I started down this journey of exploring what might be next. So I started looking at starting a for-profit business where I could turn the majority of the ownership over to residents in the neighborhood, and that be sustainable economic activity. Along that journey, had a board of advisors, and so friends like Bubba Halliday encouraged me, as well as some other men. And so out of that season, ended up starting this nonprofit to focus on employment. And so back in 99, gave birth to Advance Memphis. And then my third daughter came along right behind that, or right in front of it, actually. She came in February, and Advance came in May.
Yeah, what a great story. And we're talking with Steve Nash, founder, executive director for Advance Memphis. It's a special segment we always do on Tuesdays, Let's Talk Growth with Triumph Bank, who, by the way, is celebrating their 10th anniversary. Started back in 2006. Boy, come a long ways. TriumphBank.com. You need to check them out. They are about the community. They're a great bank if you want to grow your business, but truly about local community banking and getting involved, rolling up your sleeves a little bit, and that's why you guys do a lot of great stuff with the local nonprofits in our area. Tracy, you have a special guest in the studios today.
We do. We started working with Advance last year. Will Chase, our CEO, has known Steve for a number of years, and has always respected him. And he took myself and Linda Scholl, who runs all of our compliance and community initiatives as well, and we got to tour. And if you just listen to Steve talk, you can hear his heart, and hear his heart for this city and heart for making a difference. And we wanted to be a part of that. We've been able to sponsor, a few lunches at their facility. And in June, we decided to pick the hottest day of the summer, I think, and brought about a dozen of our team out. One of the things that they have is they have this amazing garden, this plot of land behind their building on Vance that it's a food desert in 38126. So they're building a community garden.
So it's a community garden. That's
They've got
cool.
amazing initiatives. And I would love Steve to talk about that. Plus, there are some other programs they have to help support the adults.
Tell us about the garden first.
Well, I guess I was, anyways, there's a half acre of land that's 0.2 of a mile from us. And Noah Campbell is director of the Memphis Center for Food and Faith. Mm-hmm. So out walking with Noah. Noah's new from Ohio, been down here a couple of years now. But anyways, he started asking me about this land. And so next thing I know, I'm writing a letter to the owners of an insurance company down in Birmingham that had that land. Turn around and they said that they're willing to donate it to a nonprofit. So Noah knows a lot more than I do about food. It is correct, as Tracy has stated, a food desert, and so we received the land as a donation, and so we have started to turn it around, and so now it's beginning to be a community garden, and we're using it also for applied learning with our soft skills job training class, and so we'll go out and divide up into work groups and apply what we've been talking about in class as far as communication, work, attitudes. And so when you begin to work together as a team, and then the folks that are in the class, one gets appointed a leader selected by their peers, and you do a debrief. There's a lot of learning. And then we're also beginning to bring that food back into our office, and we're hoping, in the next few months and to begin to cook that food and enjoy, the fruits of our labor.
Well, what a great story that is. And so you've had to till it. Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah.
There were actually 40 truckloads of little sapling trees and a concrete slab that back in the day was a butcher shop, and that had a concrete cellar. So there's been some work to prepare the soil. But yes, those things, the tilling, and lots of volunteers have helped us, and the community has participated as well. So it's a tool to build relationships as well.
Yeah, that's incredible. We were talking a little bit. I know, that's Vance and runs, I guess your district or your area runs all the way from the Peabody all the way close to Rayford's.
We're not quite as far as Rayford's. Probably stop
the old
at
Rayford's. I think
the old Rayford's. It's moved. But, Fourth would probably be our western boundary. But it's a 3812 six zip code that we are focused on. And
Steve, you've obviously have put a lot of love and time into helping give back, in this, and I know you've seen a lot of changes. Tell me something that really kind of touches your heart that that you are real proud of that's made the change.
Oh, I'm excited all the time when I see relationships being started from folks that are in the suburbs and in the city, because I think poverty gets reduced to financial poverty, and I think it's much bigger than that. It's poverty of relationships, poverty of resources, and so as that connection happens each time, it thrills my heart, because there is change going on in both parties' lives, and so that's glorious to watch.
Yeah, very well said. We're talking. I'm sorry. It's with Steve Nash, founder, executive director of Advance Memphis, guest of Tracy Strickland, and you're listening to Let's Talk Growth with Triumph Bank. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Steve, we're going to talk a little bit more about the great things you're doing for our city. You're listening to AM 990.
Good morning, 754 at AM 990. KWAM. It's Memphis this morning. It's Talk Growth. Let's Talk Growth with Triumph Bank, Tracy Strickland, and our guests. Of course, here's George Bryant, your host.
Thank you, John, and welcome back. One of our favorite days, Tuesday. Let's Talk Growth, Triumph Bank, Tracy Strickland. Welcome back, Tracy.
Well, thanks, George. We love having this time to talk about different aspects of Triumph, and I know we've peeled back some layers talking about our culture and some ways we serve our customers, and we really love talking about how we can serve the community as well. And so adopting Advance Memphis was one of the greatest things I think we did in 2015, and really developing a relationship with this great organization. And we brought some lunches to their work-life program. They've got the work-life program where you can support as a champion and walk along their journey. That's a 6-week program that they have during the year. And so we like bringing lunches for that and supporting that process. But they have GED programs for adults to get them on their feet educationally, and a faith and finance class. So I'd love for Steve to talk just very quickly about those. We could talk for hours. We'll have to bring him back later in the fall.
Yeah.
But just how the viewers and listeners can help and support this organization.
Sure. Amanda Coop, our volunteer coordinator, would love to have more folks that would bring lunch for 15 to 20 folks that are in our work-life class. And we absolutely, you could make a financial donation, but we're more interested in you coming and being present and beginning a relationship and connecting to the geography in place, because reciprocal learning is really important for me and all of our volunteers and all of the residents in 38126. But as Tracy said, the work life is our soft skills training class. And after community residents graduate from that, we have a staffing service, and we will connect you to the marketplace. We've got 16 staffing customers. So far this year, we've delivered $395,000 in gross wages to residents of 38126, and last year it was $1.3 million for the year. So, and then, adult education is important, and there are 6 adults that have received their GED so far this year, and 25 studying presently. And so, Triumph Bank is a little concerned and focused on money, and so we also do a financial literacy class, and there are 20 residents that are meeting on Thursday nights for 10 weeks, and love to have you come and volunteer as an ally, and that's, an opportunity that Triumph Bank employees are participating in. And then after you graduate, we have match savings accounts. So for every dollar you save from earned income, we'll match it 2 to 1 to purchase an asset. And we know that managing money and asset accumulation and creating wealth, these are important things that bring stabilities to homes and families. And so we're doing that in the community as well. So there are many, many things, and Tracy, I'll listen to the next question, but there's so much that I could share, but very grateful for our partnership.
I think you're doing a great job. It's amazing. What's a phone number that people could reach out to you on? 901-543-8525, and there's also our website, so please visit to get more details. What's the website? Would be www.advancememphis.com. .org, excuse me. Advancememphis.org. That's easy to remember. Steve Nash, great having you in here. You're doing great things for our community. We appreciate you so much. Thank you. And Tracy, with Triumph Bank, hats off. You guys are giving back to the community always. It's some great stuff you guys are doing. Yeah. Very good. Very good. And check them out, triumphbank.com, or give them a call at 901-333-8800. Let's talk growth every Tuesday right here at 7:30. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, George. Thanks. See you next week.
You're listening to AM 990.